Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Overwatch Cavalry Club Scrims. I'm Alex, and I'm joined with Captain Jack and Crunch Bite tonight.
How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
Tonight, we have our Silver Division, Hornbeast and Gebaited fighting. What do you guys want to see tonight?
So I've been looking over the last couple of months of stats in the last week or so, and I was actually just finishing them. Trying to finish them up before we started. And we see that Gebaited has been taking a lot of games earlier on, but Hornbeast had an upsetting 4-0 victory about 4 weeks ago. And so it's honestly anybody's game. It depends on who's really on top of their game tonight is going to show up and take tonight's scrims. What do you think, Crunch?
My biggest thing that I want to be looking out for tonight is team coordination, ult coordination, and most of all, I would love to see at least 3 or 4K coming out from the DPS tonight.
Also, before we start, I just want to give a quick shout out to Jag, Volley, and Amara. Thank you guys for the subs. We really appreciate the support. And we're going to go right ahead with our first map, Hanamura.
Oh, that Hanamura. So pretty. It contains so much depth. All right. So as we go ahead and get set up here on Hanamura, now Crunch, you're a coach for our teams. So go ahead and kind of let us know when you see a team preparing for this fight. What should you be telling them to look out for, either on attack or defense?
Biggest things that I want people to be looking out for, especially whenever you're either on attack, is whenever there's people that are clearly out of position, the main tank is in a position where he doesn't have much follow-up with his DPS, or better yet, you've noticed that they've used their abilities too early and you can easily take the fight to your advantage. But on defense, however, same things you would want to be looking for in attack.
Alrighty then. So trying to make sure that if people are out of position, we attack them fervently and without mercy. But it looks like Charvy's gonna go ahead and be filling the mercy role for tonight, along with well, I guess we'll have to wait. It looks like right now they're running triple DPS, which, I mean, I've seen in a lot of my comp games, it just hasn't worked out very well. So I'm hoping we'll see a little bit more heals on that side as we're looking over to the side of Gebaited. We see typical 2-2-2 comp, main tank House of Homies paired with Twitchy on the Diva. So let's go ahead, and it looks like Chibiki is going to switch over to the Brig. So we definitely got that 2-2-2 comp coming in from them as well. Starting the poke battle here at the choke. Pwn Darkstorm already losing shield incredibly quickly right there. House of Homie trying to take some time to recharge theirs as well, as they're playing around the point. Lots of shots going back and forth. That first pick is going to decide what's going to happen right here. Oh, and it looks like the Fire Strike from House of Homie is going to get Darkstorm, and that's going to go ahead and push back Hornbeast for the moment. That was an incredible poke battle right there. Do you think it was wise of them to give up so easily there, Crunchy?
I think the biggest thing that needed to happen is that after the moment where they saw that the Junkrat was on the defense side, the Reinhardt needs to understand how much shield damage he's going to be taking at a very quick rate. So I think with that kind of coordination, they just need to push in altogether.
Ooh, well, here comes the Graviton. Let's see what they can make happen with it. Well, it doesn't look like much of anything happened. House of Homie ends up tackling Chibiki. Helix Snake taking out Darkstorm. Tyre ends up taking out Charvy. Helix Snake following up on Chibikitty. And that is going to clean up Hornbeast once again. They had that Graviton. They had at least 3 or 4 in that Graviton. I think the biggest issue was Darkstorm charging instead of just swinging that massive hammer they've got. Because
Absolutely.
Nobody else was putting damage on that grab.
Right, and the biggest thing that you want to be looking out for as Reinhardt is that he does 80 damage a hit, plus he's also building up that ult charge. So if he was just swinging, he would be putting 80 damage on each person.
Fat shatter coming in from House of Homie, ends up taking down 4 and getting my Van Helix Snake, and House of Homie will clean up Horn Beast once again. Less than 2 minutes left on the clock. Crunch, what do you think they need? I feel like there's a switch that needs to happen, but I'm not exactly for certain where they need to go. Whether they need to have a flanker to get behind them and take a couple out, or what.
Biggest thing that I'm noticing is that they're just holding on to ultimates for way too long. There needs to be a moment where everybody's just using their ults, which is right now.
Oh, yep, it looks like that's it. Everybody's ults coming in. It is an ult heyday. Twitching taking out Chibi. Attack Visor coming in from Helix Snake. Ends up taking out Turvy. Mid Valkyrie. Anubios following up on Jaeger. Darkstorm trying to get on the point, but currently is alone. Chibiki ends up getting taken out by Twitchy. And Wolfpack trying to do something as McCree, but is getting incredibly staggered. Ends up getting taken out by Anubios. Darkstorm and Chibi Kitty switching over to the Diva Winston. Wolfpack also taking on the Doomfist. So they're coming in with at least 3 reset ultimates after giving all that up. We also have a Pharah coming in from Jaeger, which with Helix Snake, I don't know. That aim that Helix has got is pretty incredible. So let's go ahead and see what's going to happen right here as they push in. Darkstorm trying to get some hits there on House of Homie. Jumping out of the set, Twitchy ends up demeching Chibiki. House of Homie taking out both Darkstorm and Chibiki. Both tanks are down right now. With Chibiki, Charby, and Wolfpack doing some work on the point right now. Anubios ends up taking out Chibikitty with the passive. Twitchy following up on Wolfpack, and House of Homie taking out Charby. Right now it's just Darkstorm fighting on the point against a Boostio and House of Homie right now, and doing great to hold on to it, but ends up getting taken out by House of Homie. Chibikitty trying to hold on to the point as much as possible, ends up getting demeched, getting my van, sending out the Coalescence, trying to do some work right here. The rest of the team getting in there. Tyre ends up taking out Chibikitty and Wolfpack. Elfie follows up on Chibiki, and the time is ticking away. Charby trying to even touch the point, and Helix Snake was not going to let that happen, and that is going to be a quick first round, folks. Crunchbite, I don't even know what to say to this. It feels like they were just kind of just running at it and seeing what sticks.
Biggest thing that I was definitely noticing is that definitely for the defending side, their coordination of who they needed to focus on was spectacular. They were able to focus on the priority targets that needed to be taken down first. They were all grouping in at the same targets at the same time, and that's something that Horn Beast just wasn't really doing as well. People were off doing their own business. They were trying to take down the targets that they're focusing on when they should be just prioritizing on who is being hard stunned or who is being in the graviton.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's see if Horn Beast can hopefully hold an incredibly strong defense against Gebaited tonight as we go into round 2. 40 seconds left on the clock. Right now, it looks like Horn Beasts are still kind of picking their heroes. We have Jaeger and Wolfpack on the DPS, Charby and Chibiki on heals. And, you know, I got to be honest, with the way that Mercy has kind of been, you know, for lack of a better term, nerfed straight into hell, I don't see her as much of a main healer anymore. Like, I would definitely pick more of an Ana or a Moira to go with that, especially paired with a Zenyatta, but, you know, I guess we'll see what happens. 3 seconds left on the clock as we go ahead and go in. It looks like Elfie is going to take the role of Lucio, trying to push the rest of the team in, while Helix Snake tries to get some picks on that high ground. Darkstorm pretty far off from the choke, allowing a lot of room for people to kind of get picked off right there. Oh, Anubios ends up getting taken out by a Storm Arrow from Wolfpack. Getting my van, ends up taking out Chibikitty. Darkstorm and Charby ends up rezzing Chibikitty. Helix Snake ends up getting taken out by Wolfpack on that high ground. Not able to get as many picks as we're hoping. Jaeger takes out Elfie, and that's going... It looks like they're going to kind of stagger or reset right there. Wolfpack on the high ground trying to get some hits in. Do you think that this...
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you think that this is kind of the good what they're doing here? We see Darkstorm not really holding the choke as much.
Biggest thing that I was going to say is that the reasoning why a lot of people like running Mercy on defense is because she still has the most invaluable tool of rezzing someone after the fight, such as whenever Sharvie was able to rez Zarya after she got pinned by the Reinhardt.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like that rez is not going to come in right now. Helix Snakes ends up taking out Wolfpack and Nubios, getting that uppercut on Charvy, and that is going to be a quick first game, folks. Gebaited walking away with the first victory. Wow. Oh, look at those beautiful Halloween skins. Oh, my favorite time of year. House of Homie coming in with the play of the game. Just doing House of Homie just amazing with the quick shatters and just, oh my goodness. That was such a fat shatter and a beautiful cleanup. Oh, incredibly impressed. So what do you think going forward, Crunch, that Horn Beasts really need to kind of look out for or plan for as we go into these next 3 maps?
Biggest thing that I would love to see Horn Beasts picking up on, or just trying to see if they can get that kind of communication down quickly, is priority targets. I want them to be sure that they're focusing all on the same targets at once, so that way they know who to be focusing on, instead of everybody focusing on their own different targets because they think they can get that easy pick. Sure, it's okay whenever you get a couple of really cheeky picks from the beginning, but you always want to be sure that you're focusing down those priority targets as quickly as possible, so that way your team has the better advantage during the fight.
Absolutely. All right.
I'm just going to come in for a second. Quick shout outs. Amara subscribing for 4 months in a row, saying, "I love sexy French lady." I love you too, Amara.
I feel like there's some bias here or something. There's like a specific reason that Amara keeps watching.
Maybe. Hot Pocket subscribing. Thank you so much, Hot Pocket. And we miss you. Dank Monkey subscribing, saying, "Horn Beast and Gebaited, let's go." Thank you so much for the subs, everyone. We really appreciate the support.
All right. Well, Boss Lady, where are we headed to next?
We're going to head to Lijiang Tower. Let me just make sure there's no switch. Nope. And we're ready to go.
All right.
Boss Lady.
Tower.
Lijiang Tower. Always an interesting map, especially with the most recent heroes getting added in. You would, like, one of my favorites to play on this map is Hammond. It's not even on these maps where you can be cheeky and just spin around the middle. I'm talking about Night Market. Like, I'll set up super early, get to the point super quick, and then I'll just put my chain up at a door and just wait for them to start coming around that corner so I get that huge boop off right before they come into the point. It is so much fun to play that hamster.
The one thing I would absolutely love to see, if they could actually just... They have the tools for it, but I think it would be great if they actually had the day mode from the Capture the Flag modes and the free-for-all modes to actually be a map. So there could be the difference between day mode and night mode in Lijiang Tower. I think that would be really interesting.
That would be interesting, because one of the things that I have been noticing, despite that the maps are, for the most part, between not just night and day, but where we've seen some of the Halloween maps vice what their regular counterparts are, is that just the setting in of itself, like it being a little bit darker, not being able to necessarily see everyone exactly where they're at, whereas in a day map like Route 66 or Hollywood, more often than not, you'll be able to kind of catch everybody in the act, so to speak. All right, well, here they go right into the game. Everybody taking that back approach. I guess nobody wanted to get booped starting off here. And Darkstorm is going to get the first pick on getting my van to start off this fight. Wolfpack on the Tracer doing an amazing cleanup. Jaeger following suit on Twitchy. Anubios getting taken out by Darkstorm. That's 5 out of the 6 being taken out, and I think Horn Beasts are ready to bring their A game. I think last match was maybe just their warm up. They just needed to work a couple kinks out, and now they're gonna get it going. So 10%. Go ahead.
Biggest thing I was noticing is that the comp that they were using, dive comp mainly focuses on actually having that priority shot calling. So the Winston immediately dives on the target, will be able to call out whoever he's focusing, and everybody's able to hop on it. I think that was what the problem Horn Beast was having, and they're doing a much better job with it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, once again, we see Darkstorm getting in the middle of the fight right there, getting a lot of damage around. It looks like we see Helix Snake switching over to the Reaper, though, to take care of Darkstorm, and that's going to end real quickly. Elfie ends up demeching Chibi Kitty right there, and it looks like Horn Beasts are going to try to retreat. The Pulse Bomb ends up taking out Helix Snake right there, getting my van, ends up getting Chibi Kitty with those darn Moira balls that always get you at the last second. And it is going to be a quick fight, but 53% for the side of Horn Beast. They were able to extend the fight long enough to be able to kind of keep it going and get that little extra percentage without too many people getting taken out. That was good. All right. So now that Gebaited has started the pursuit, what do you think that Horn Beasts need to do to get their butts back in here and retake the point?
Biggest thing they need to be focusing on is that Reaper high impact damage on the Winston. That would immediately be countered if the D.Va can follow up right behind with just the defense matrix to clean up on that easy kill.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like Darkstorm is going full rage, ends up taking out Elfie. Jaeger with the blade gets Anubios, and Helix Snake is doing an amazing job trying to get those hits in on Chibi Kitty, trying to eat up as much as possible. Here comes the Blossom Quintuple. Blossom. Chibi Kitty, the only one left, just running around in a circle. That is, as House of Homie said right there, huge. Huge. Death Blossom right there.
I definitely got one of my dreams for tonight achieved.
Yes, yes you did. Not only 3, not only 4, but 5 kills in one go. Absolutely beautiful. Well, it looks like Gebaited is taking up the percentage. Here comes the D.Va Bomb. Doesn't end up getting anybody, though. Having that Ryan shield is always going to be protecting. Oh! Twitchy getting that chest bump on Darkstorm right off the edge. Helix Snake ends up taking out Jaeger, as well as Chibi Kitty, or demeching Chibi Kitty, at least. And the clock is just, the percentage is just ticking away right now, 93%. They have got to get back in there quickly. Darkstorm ends up taking out House of Homie, but Twitchy follows up on Darkstorm. Wolfpack using Pulse Bomb. I'm getting my van. Anubios taking out Jaeger, though. And right now, it's just Wolfpack on the point, just dashing around, trying to get something going. Charby coming in with the beat drop, but not soon enough to save Wolfpack right there. And it looks like the rest of the team has finally made their way in here. 99% trying to hold on as much as possible, but Helix Snake is still going completely unmatched. Another quadruple kill to try to clean up the point right there. Getting my van following up on Jaeger, and that is the end of round 1 on Lijiang Tower. Crunch, I feel like I already know what you're going to say because you said it earlier, but what do you think happened there?
Oh, well, if you really want to know, they clearly didn't go after the Reinhardt long enough. No. Biggest thing definitely was the high priority targets swapped from definitely not so much the Reinhardt, but definitely the Reaper, because he was just shredding the team as much as he possibly could, and he was just left uncontested to where after even D.Va got demeched, he was able to get a 5k and a 4k. So I would definitely say for them, swap that priority to making sure that that Reaper gets down quickly, and then they can keep moving forward.
Absolutely, and without a Mercy res on the point, that makes it kind of a real easy thing. You would think it'd be a really easy thing to kind of accomplish right there, and I think that's what they're going for with Chibiki switching over to the Brigette for this fight. But Helix Snake is actually going to take the role of Soldier for this one. Anubios switching over to the Genji, as well as Jaeger coming in on Genji. Going to see some Genji on Genji action as Chibiki DMX Twitchy. House of Homie ends up taking out opponent Darkstorm, Chibiki, and Jaeger getting some additional hits there. Helix Snake ends up demeching Chibi Kitty, but it's still definitely in the advantage of the Horned Beast right now as they continue to flail and fight. That rally keeping them going as Chibiki takes out Elfie. Darkstorm gets back to the point as Getting My Van gets taken out. Twitchy jumping into the fight once again, trying to keep that percentage from starting, but it's not going to be enough as Horned Beast once again take the point to begin. Wolfpack coming in on the Pharah, already having ultimate as well as Charby, Chibiki, and Jaeger. Darkstorm not that far away from following compared to what we see on the side of Gebaited. Crunch, I think they've got their rhythm now.
Biggest thing I'm very surprised about is the fact that they're keeping their team in line with 2 off heals. This is a very interesting way of keeping your team up.
Oh my goodness, there was a lot of ults into that. A reflected barrage goes back and hits the Wolfpack. Chibiki ends up getting 1 bomb kill, and Getting My Van follows up on Chibiki. And the fight is still going strong right here. 2v2 healers versus DPS and tank right now. Getting My Van ends up taking out Darkstorm. Chibiki ends up getting demeched as the rest is debated. Comes back into the point. Jaeger trying to at least keep the percentage going as they have capped 54%. Now that Gebaited has taken the point for the first time in Night Market. Now let's go ahead and see if they're going to wait to regroup. Definitely was interesting. I very rarely do you see a reflected barrage. I think that was probably the most interesting part of that fight. Was a reflected barrage right back at Wolfpack. All right, Crunch. What are we seeing going on here? What do you think that their fighting strategy is still working well as Nubios comes in with the blade?
Biggest thing now that I'm noticing is that the Moira is just being kept alive for as much as she ever wants, and she's able to get her ultimates off for free, plus she's able to keep the team alive. While on the other hand, with Sharvy and Chibiki both playing off heals, the amount of healing coming from the team is not as much as what a main healer could be putting out. So I would definitely say trying to swap one of them off to where they can actually have a decent amount of healing, and then they can actually keep moving forward.
And that's exactly what we were talking about earlier when you were saying about priority targets. Now, with the Moira being completely unchallenged, oh! The boop ends up taking out Jaeger mid-blade. Chibikitty ends up bombing on Elfie. Darkstorm taking out Getting My Van, and the cleanup is just going down right now. 70% for the side of Gebaited as it continues to climb, and it looks like Horned Beast will be retaking the point to restart their percentage climb. So getting that focus not only on Getting My, well, really it was just kind of Getting My Van. Once Getting My Van got taken out, that was it. Helix Snake and Getting My Van popping ults to try to get into the point right there. Ends up taking out Chibiki and Jaeger. House of Homie following up on Chibikitty right there as the blade trying to get somebody, but is not, as Twitchy ends up taking out Darkstorm and just barely getting over the percentage of where Gebaited was. Gebaited retakes the point once again. And I think it's exactly as you're saying. They have the 2 off healers, and they're just not focusing that main healer on their side enough. Do you see anything else kind of going on for you, Crunch?
Other biggest thing I would like for the Horned Beast to be looking out for is the consistency of how many ults they're using per fight. For that last fight, they used 5 ultimates just to try and retake the point.
Oof. Yeah, that will be a big oof. The hammer down coming in from House of Homie. Barrage coming in from Wolfpack, trying to get somebody, but ends up getting taken out by rockets from Helix Snake instead. Chibiki taking out 2. Helix Snake cleaning up Chibiki right there, and the fight is still going strong. Charby just trying to hold the point right now as they've hit the 99% mark, but Helix Snake will take out Charby. Getting My Van ends up taking out Jaeger. Darkstorm coming in with the shatter, but it is too late as Gebaited takes win number 2 tonight on Overwatch Cavalry Club Scrims. Let's go ahead and see that play of the game. Of course, if there was a double environmental this time around, I would have been incredibly sad because this was just gorgeous. Quintuple kill from Helix Snake. Even ends up getting Diva a little bit later. whole team kill. 10 Death Blossom kills with only 2 Death Blossoms. Like,
Quite impressive.
wow. Wowity, wow, wow, wow. All right, folks. Well, we are at the halftime for tonight. Right now, if you're just joining us, Gebaited is leading 2-0 against the Horned Beast. So go ahead, get yourself a snack, use the restroom, whatever it is you need to do. We will be back in about 6 minutes with more Overwatch Cavalry Club Scrims.
open the
Oh, the Graviton was
Oh my god!
What? Twin double kill!
Oh my god!
Oh man!
Oh my god!
That was
Here comes
Lord.
the father
Who
from Alfie. Whoa!
Unbelievable.
Just look at that patience.
Look at that. So there's the Graviton.
Oh.
Oh, they all got out of the Graviton into the teleporter. But, oh man!
Hashtag for Elfie, please.
That's even worse than I thought it was.
Oh my god. Incredible play.
Welcome back, everyone. We're still live with our Silver Division tonight. Hornbeast and Gebaited. 2-0 on the side of Gebaited so far. Crunch, what do you think that Hornbeast has to switch around right now?
Biggest thing I want to be seeing is the first thing I was noticing from Hanamura is just focusing down the priority targets, which are the main tank, the high impact DPS, and their main heals. I just want them to have some coordination and focus so that way they can focus down those targets. Everybody just seems like they're not really sure where to be focusing, so I'd really like to see really, really good team coordination based on killing those targets down.
Right. And what about you, Jack? What are you noticing that you would like to see differently right now?
Well, I mean, honestly, I'd just like to see that we know that Hornbeast has the skill to match Gebaited. If you remember 4 weeks ago, they took a complete 4-0 slide against Gebaited, like did absolutely well. We know that they have the skills and the strategies to go against that. So I really want to see them be able to come back from this, bring it to a 5th game, as we always love here at O.C.C. Scrims. I want to see those close fights because to me, I've just been having a hard time finding stuff to talk about because the fights just seem to happen so quickly without a lot of oomph. So I need Hornbeast to come in. I hope while they were taking their break, they were sharpening those horns and getting their hooves dirty and ready to get back in here and bring us back onto King's Row. It looks like we'll be going to next.
Personally, what I want to see from Hornbeast is more ult management. Because right now it seems like they go in a fight, they just give it, it's all or nothing. It's either they don't use anything or they use everything. And if they end up losing the fight, they have nothing. Even if they win the fight, they're not ready for the next fight. So ult management, I want to see that going better for the next map. But we're gonna go right ahead with King's Row.
Now entering King's Row.
Just makes me think of the anniversary event all over again. Or Archives, rather. Now it's called Archives. Peaceful Omnic in the center, surrounded by death and destruction.
I wonder if we're still gonna have the same thing this year. Oh, we didn't have years in a row, actually.
Well, we did and we didn't. We had
Black Ops. We had Blackwatch.
Yep.
Right. I don't know. I'm excited to see what they're gonna announce at BlizzCon next month. So
I would imagine
Hero 27, and they're probably gonna announce some new skins.
Oh boy! You mean like the same stuff they announce every year at BlizzCon?
Well, you gotta give it to good old Blizzard. They're just a nice little multi-million-dollar indie company. They don't know better. They're still
nice multi-million-dollar indie company. I don't think I've heard those two things come together quite like that. All right, as we see Gebaited going ahead and setting up on the defense once again, we're seeing that beautiful 2-2-2 comp Helix Snake coming in on the Widow as Anubios takes on the McCree. Wolfpack is looking to match that Widowmaker, and Jaeger's coming in as the Bullmaster himself, Junkrat! Let's go ahead and see what happens. It looks like we got damage raining out of the top window as everybody kind of gets in there. Wolfpack getting that first pick onto Helix Snake. Now with that pick, it looks like they're going to go ahead and start moving past the choke point, despite the fact that Gebaited is actually holding very far away. Lots of room to work. Oh, Darkstorm getting caught out of position, but that Ananade is going to help Chibiki take out House of Homie right there. As well as Twitchy getting DMAC'd by Jaeger. Wolfpack follows up on getting my van, but Helix Snake returning that favor to Wolfpack. Jaeger ends up taking out Twitchy as they quickly take first point. Wow. I'm just... Crunch, I'm not... Is that something that... Is that like a strategy that I don't know about? Like holding that far back from the objective? Or... Like, I'm not for certain what they were going with there.
Biggest thing that I noticed is that immediately House of Homie got debuffed by the Ana Grenade, which allowed him to not get any healing during that time, and they were able to instantly prioritize him going down, and they were able to keep focusing those targets one by one.
Alright, well let's hope they can keep it rolling, as we saw Wolfpack got that pick on Helix Sneak once again, making it a 5v6 fight as the payload just keeps going forward. We see House of Homie going at it with Darkstorm. The anti-nade ends up getting House of Homie once again, getting taken out mid-ult by Jaeger. Getting my van and Anubios, though, follow up on Darkstorm and Chibi Kitty. And we see the tire coming in, demecking Twitchy, but not really getting much of anything else. Anubios follows up on Jaeger, and that is going to be a stopped payload. Thankfully, with the quickness that they got that first point, they have got plenty of time to kill. 4 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. Crunch, I feel like I know the answer to this one, but what do you think they could have done differently to keep that payload going by getting stopped so quickly?
Biggest thing that I would love to see is that I think Darkstorm needs to be figuring out when he needs to get his hammer swings in and whenever he needs to up, because there's a lot of times where his shield's cracking super hard and they're able to see that immediately and stop that kind of momentum that Dark is pushing up.
Ooh, Chibiki didn't have the bubble in time, ends up getting taken out by a Twitchy Diva Bomb right there. The anti-nade coming in on 3. Hammer down coming in, doesn't end up getting much of anything though. Helix Snake ends up taking out Wolfpack, switching over to the Genji. Twitchy following up on Darkstorm, and Trickster ends up taking out Chibiki as Jaeger trying to get away as the lone Junkrat ends up getting chest bumped by Twitchy. Or road killed, however you want to line that out. Looks like we're going to go ahead and actually see Wolfpack switching over to the Reaper. I'm guessing to help with both Twitchy and House of Homie right there. But with Helix Snake, you know, he famous for that Helix Blade. Oh! Fat Shatter once again from House of Homie, going in quickly to clean up both Darkstorm and Chibi Kitty. Wolfpack ends up taking out House of Homie, though. Here comes the tire, getting 2 kills and a DMAC on Twitchy. Despite the fact that they lost both of their tanks, they are able to push in incredibly quickly. Even Charvy pulling out that beautiful Mercy pistol, do a little bit of damage in their own special way. So Crunch, there was a lot of back and forth right there. What do you think kind of worked and didn't work for Gebaited right there?
Well, biggest thing was definitely just getting that tire to go through and get the D.Va mech, and then also getting the 2 picks on the DPS as well.
Well, I was meaning for Gebaited, because they got that Fat Shatter at the beginning, which really helped them out. But where do you think they lost it? Was it not focusing that tire when it came in? Or maybe getting a little too eager there at the choke? Getting a little too close?
I think that would be a lot more to it, because there's a lot of it where it's based on what's happening at that current time, what everybody was trying to do, and what they were trying to accomplish. What I was seeing is a lot of different things, but I couldn't sum it up real well.
Okay, no worries. Alright, Diva Bomb going into the... Ends up getting sucked up by Darkstorm Shield, though. I see that this continued Diva Ryan combo. Oh! quintuple fat shatter. We see the tackle come in on Getting My Van, ends up taking out. The tire comes in, takes out Trickster and D-Mex Twitchy, but the Helix Blade coming out takes out Chibiki, but the res coming in for Charvy is going to correct that very quickly. Despite having the spawn advantages, a 6v6 fight, once again, Getting My Van popping out the Transcendence to try to keep everybody up, but Darkstorm Ore took out House of Homie. Jaeger ends up getting Twitchy, triple kill, coming out from Anubios. But Chibiki is still working hard, takes out Getting My Van and Trickster. Anubios following up on Wolfpack. Darkstorm ends up taking out Anubios. Helix Snake, I guess, taking a dive. Not exactly for certain what happened there. And Chibiki going ahead and finish pushing the point as everyone's focused on the beautiful Darkstorm charging away from the payload. Tricky, that Darkstorm. 2 minutes, 24 seconds left on the clock at the end of that point. Like, with the spawn advantage and the way that Gebaited's been playing, I felt like they would have kind of put up more of a fight there. Crunch, what do you think kind of went wrong for them right there?
I think the biggest thing that Horned Beast was finally using to their advantage is that they had the ult momentum that they were using to the whole entire time. After they had the 4K Shatter, it was a bit ambitious to do the Zarya ultimate, but it was able to secure those 2 prime kills, which were to get rid of the D.Va and to get rid of one of the supports, while at the same time, they're able to keep pushing in, while the DPS was just so focused on trying to kill the other 3 targets that they didn't focus so much on the high charge Zarya that was just ripping and roaring through the tanks like nobody's business.
Absolutely. I know myself as I play Zarya and comp, like, you know, it's easy to take out squishies, but if you leave a Zarya to just continue, you know, using bubbles and getting charged to maximum capacity, like, you might as well consider Chibi Kitty the next DPS main on the side of Horned Beast, because you will just start ripping through people like it's nobody's business.
Right.
All right, so it looks like they're going to continue with the Ryan Zarya combo. Not really much of anything's changing except for Wolfpack switching over to the Hanzo. And
Did
Jaeger
somebody say goats? No.
Oh, no goats, but...
No goats! Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay. I was about ready to say, I didn't think we allowed Torbjorn yet. He's not in comp yet. You tricky people, you. We're going to see a little goats action tonight. The question is, will Gebaited be the greatest of all time with this composition, as Helix Snake gets the first kill there on Darkstorm. House of Homie following up on Chibi Kitty. Trickster ends up taking out Charvy. It's a 3v6 fight as Jaeger gets taken out by Helix Snake. Wolfpack working in that backline, trying to take out Anubios, but it's not working as Chibi Kitty gets taken out by Helix Snake, and Anubios takes out Wolfpack. That is going to be another quick first point now for the side of Gebaited.
Goats. Love me some goats.
I get the feeling, Crunch, that you like goats.
Goats to me is one of the best comps to ever run, because with new teams and with teams that are trying to figure out team synergy, it's the best one because it keeps everybody up and alive. The Reinhardt gets to swing as freely as he wants to, and everybody just gets the benefit of having the AoE heals from all 3 supports.
Absolutely. Well, let's see if Horned Beast can counter against it as Getting My Van gets that boop kill. Anubios following up on Chibi Kitty. They are pushed incredibly far forward, just doing an incredible amount of damage right now. Getting My Chibi Kitty, Anubios following up on Charvy. They are just decimating the front line right now as the payload moves freely behind. 4 minutes, 46 seconds left on the clock. I am just... wow. I do not feel like Horned Beast were ready for this. We see a switch of Jaeger over to the Mei to try to create a little bit more. Chibiki coming in, saving the Graviton. Whoa! Double shatters right there. Doesn't end up getting much of anything except for Chibiki getting tackled by House of Homie. But the res is going to come in for that. Twitchy ends up taking out Darkstorm, trying to keep that payload from moving. Charvy getting House of Homie in the backline. Don't mess with a Mercy in the backline, folks. And it looks like they are going to get that free second point. 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, excuse me. 35 seconds left on the clock. Wolfpack trying to take down Trickster. but Get My Van is going to say nuh-uh to that, as well as taking out Charby. Darkstorm and Jaeger trying to hold some kind of forward positioning, but like as much as I like using Mei to stall a payload, they don't have enough damage. I'm not seeing the damage that can go against all the healing and armor of a Goat's comp. I believe you agree with me there, right, Crunch?
Oh yeah.
But the biggest thing that you're looking for whenever you're trying to run a Mei against a Ghost comp is all you're trying to do is ruin the momentum. All you want to do is just slow down the big targets that are charging at you, such as Brig, Zarya, and Reinhardt, and then from there you're using the wall to isolate the certain targets. In these situations, it just seemed like they were just trying to get as much as they could with only getting D.Va whenever they should have been focusing on the Rein and the Zarya.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like Darkstorm putting in a lot of work. Chibi Kitty's Graviton right there on the point, able to get 4 of the 6 kills right there, and being able to stop the payload at 4 minutes 20 seconds for right now, as Gebaited comes back in with a couple ultimates and a Graviton of their own, but comes the Snow Globe from Mei. Gotta love those new aesthetics, folks. Ends up preventing the entire Graviton from being used right there. And we see the Coalescence coming in. Get My Van ends up getting the first kill there on Darkstorm, but the res comes in for Charby. And just, once again, a lot of fighting happening on the payload. Just, that Mei just completely screwed up all the ults that they poured into that. Wouldn't you say, Crunch?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Woo! Fat Shatter once again coming in from Darkstorm, ends up taking down Form, and Darkstorm doing all their own work. I feel like I'd see Darkstorm as like the main actor of an action film, be like, I do my own stunts, I shatter and then I kill them. Ugh. Alright, well it looks like Horned Beast have been able to make something happen here. 3 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock as they continue to keep Gebaited at bay right now. Crunch, do you think that this is going to be a successful hold, or do you think that we can still see something come in with the 2-2-2 switch up coming in from Gebaited right now?
Biggest thing that I want to keep seeing is Wolfpack keep doing the damage he's doing as Pharah, Jaeger being able to stop everybody with the Mei ults, and of course, above all, focusing down the Rein and Zarya and Brig.
Absolutely, they're just working incredibly well of making sure to have, like, every time there's a Graviton ready, there's always a Snow Globe ready, and it is just working to their advantage right now. Shatter comes in, ends up taking Jaeger. Oh no, Mei's out of the fight for right now, but will the res come in and save? Trickster ends up taking Chibiki. The Barrage taking out Helix Snake as Anubios takes out Wolfpack mid-barrage. The res coming in for Chibiki to try to get some heals back on the point. House of Homie ends up taking out Chibi Kitty, and without that shield is going to double kill both healers. The Deadeye takes out Jaeger coming out of spawn, and Darkstorm ends up getting taken out by House of Homie now under 2 minutes. They may be able to retake the point as Wolfpack, excuse me, tries to hold on for life, but House of Homies ends up taking him out. The Graviton comes in, but not far enough away from the payload to keep it from moving, as they also get point 3, but with a slightly lower time bank. The 2 minutes 24 seconds for the side of Horned Beast, vice the 1 minute 48 seconds for the side of Gebaited. Now, the big thing I imagine we should talk about, Crunch, is what's going to happen on these first 2 points. Because despite the fact that they have so little time, they kept Horned Beast away from that objective all the way to point 2.
I would definitely say the biggest thing that I would want to be worried about is that the one thing Wolfpack was able to firmly decide on, and he was able to keep with it for the longest time, is that Pharah does an outstanding job against Goats comps, as you can tell by both the DPS going both hit scans to stop the Pharah. As of this point, I think the best options for both teams to realistically do would be to go 2-2-2, get a quick early pick with Widowmaker, and from there just keep rushing onto the point and then just taking everybody out. But if you still want something real cheesy and something real easy to do, Mei Ultimate will always be the best thing for any overtime situation.
Absolutely, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Personally, I love having Mei especially for that choke point. It helps out so nicely, especially if you have a Ryan holding the choke as well. But I don't know, I'm just some like gold platinum scrub, you know? It's just the way it is. Oh, it looks like we need to pause! Pause! Everybody screaming pause! Oh goodness! Pause. Twitchy went pee? What?
Wait, what?
What? My mind is blown. We are in the middle of a match. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Didn't we just have a 6-minute break earlier?
Oh my goodness. Drank too much soda. Nature will call. Got to keep that intake to a minimum.
Whoa,
all right, we are back in it. We're back in it, folks. That was quick. All right, let's go ahead and get this going once again. Oh, goodness sakes. And it looks like they are pushing straight in, using that momentum from getting my van to try to get on the point. Ends up taking out Darkstorm early. The ball are popping down as the Reds comes in for Darkstorm. Twitchy ends up getting demeched by Chibi Kitty. But Helix Snake will shield bash the Jaeger into non-existence. Darkstorm ends up taking out Twitchy, and here comes the triple tire from Wolfpack to go ahead and stop that push before the first tick. Absolutely beautiful work coming in there from Wolfpack. Personally, like, that was just an amazing work, getting up that ultimate super quick, despite all the Zarya bubbles that were going around. And here comes a push once again. 38 seconds left on the clock. We're seeing some switches already. Helix Snake going over to the Pharah, ends up taking out Charvy. Trickster using the Coalescence to take out Chibi Kitty, and House of Homie following up on Chibi Key. Darkstorm takes out Getting My Van, but gets taken out, as well as Wolfpack by Helix Snake, and Jaeger gets cleaned up by Anubios. The question, it looks like they will have enough time to be spawned at the forward spawn, but the question is, how much will they allow Gebaited to get away with as they get the final tick on point A as overtime begins to tick away? Crunch, what do you think they really need to focus on as we are now in overtime on the side of Gebaited?
I'm just sad there's no goats. They went fair. But my biggest thing that I would love to see is that without the other team having many of their ultimates, or close to all their ultimates, I think that Horned Beasts have a really good time of getting them off the point.
And that's going to be the big thing right here, because in overtime you don't need kills, you just need space, and they are unloading every ultimate they have to try to keep things going, but it does not look like it is going to be enough, as Twitchy ends up taking out Charvy. Trickster ends up taking out Jaeger. Oh my goodness. I am incredibly flabbergasted. And I use the word flabbergasted because that's the only word that comes to mind with the fact that they had all those ultimates, and we still see Gebaited pushing the payload. Crunch, what happened there?
The biggest thing that I was noticing is that nobody was focusing the stun targets whenever the Mei ultimate went off. And then afterwards, there's a funny stun animation that happens whenever you Reinhardt shatter someone who's frozen. They kind of just stand up and then they just lay flat down. So I think they might have been thrown off by that, or they were just not getting the targets that they needed to.
That is quite interesting. That happens with an on a sleep dart too. Like, you get slept and then you get shattered and then you go right into the shatter. So weird. Yeah. Wolfpack coming in with the tire, ends up taking out Getting My Van as well as demecking Twitchy. Can they hold on to this point? Darkstorm ends up taking out House of Homie. It's a 3v6 fight right now. 3v5 as Helix Snake takes out Darkstorm. They are going all over the point right now. Actually, 4v6 fight. I don't know, or 4v4 fight. I forgot that Twitchy was just demec, not killed. As they continue to fight for the right to payload, Helix Snake ends up taking out Chibi Kitty. Chibi Key comes back. Helix Snake coming in with the barrage, takes out Jaeger, but ends up getting taken out themselves. Twitchy ends up taking out Wolfpack on there. The Transcendence coming in from Chibi Key, trying to keep everybody up, but it's not going to be enough against Trickster's Coalescence on Darkstorm right there. But they are fighting as much as possible, and it looks like the advantage is definitely going to come in for the side of Gebaited once again, still pushing in overtime, getting to point 2 as they continue to push in to the final area. Now, Crunch, I gotta wonder, do you think that it's best to continue to try to fight this the way that they are? It just seems like they're going back to kind of this scatteredness that they were having as Jaeger falls off the map right there.
I think the one thing that I'd be trying to do mostly is not be trying to win the fight so much. I would just be trying to find ways to just get them off the payload, because as of right now, the overtime clock has been going on for more than just a minute, so that timer will immediately go down if nobody's on it for more than a second.
Absolutely. I always tell people that C9 is the greatest strategy against an overtime payload. If you push them off of it, it doesn't matter if you kill them. It just matters that they get away far enough. Unfortunately,
exactly.
Horn Beast were not able to get them off that payload as they capture a sixth point in overtime. Wow, absolutely incredible right there for the side of Gebaited. My hope is that Horn Beast will be able to match that, and maybe we might end in a tie. I mean, that would be incredibly interesting to see a tie on a payload map. I'd pay to see that.
I just want more goats.
Oh, I just want
more
Crunch
goats.
just loves the goat.
So good to play on, especially for this map. The lack of high ground makes it so much easier to just push through, and you can just keep doing the wonkiest stuff of all time. But nonetheless, I think the biggest thing that I would want to see from both sides is just that kind of coordination that Gebaited is putting forth towards Horn Beast. They're getting those targets down, they're focusing those stun targets immediately, and what we need to be seeing is that Horn Beast just needs to focus up with where the Rhine of who he's shattering, who he's focusing, and making sure to get those targets down first, because they can't play the game right now. So I think that would be the best targets to shoot for.
Absolutely. That's going to be the biggest hits as they come in. It looks like we're going to see Wolfpack on the Tracer, Jaeger on the Junkrat once again. Chibiki was doing amazing on the nade, getting them especially on House of Homie and Twitchy. So let's see if that Ana is going to work just as well as the clock counts down once again, 2 minutes, 10 seconds to get that payload moving. Let's go ahead and see if they can make it happen. Twitchy and Darkstorm fighting on the high ground as Darkstorm tries to get in there. Nubios ends up taking out Darkstorm. Chibi Kitty getting demeched by Helix Snake on the Widow. Another kill comes in. Jaeger taking out a Nubios, and the res comes in for Darkstorm just barely before getting sent back to spawn. And the fight continues to go as Twitchy takes out Darkstorm once again. Wolfpack following up on getting my van. House of Homie ends up taking out Chiwiki and Charvy. And the Shatter takes out Jaeger as well as demecking Chibi Kitty as Trickster uses the Coalescence to try to follow up on Chibi Kitty. I almost feel like all those ults at the end were just kind of thrown away. What do you think, Crunch?
I mean, at a certain point, it's which ones you want to be using them. It's the ones that can be built the fastest. Reinhardt Shatter could have been a bit ambitious, but I would definitely say though for the other ultimates such as Moira ult, she can rebuild that ult very quickly and she can do A-okay with it.
Alrighty, well we saw the tire come in from Jaeger, didn't end up getting anybody. Trickster taking out Chibiki, Wolfpack following up on getting my van. Nubios gets a DMAC and here comes the high noon. The bubble protecting a majority of the team for the most part. Charvy trying to get in there for a res as Darkstorm takes out Trickster and Anubios. Twitchy following up on Charvy. Chibi Kitty coming in with the Diva Bomb as House of Homies is down. Clears the point but doesn't end up taking anybody out as Helix Snake comes right back in on the Reaper to try to take care of Darkstorm. Ends up taking out Wolfpack and Chibi Kitty. Darkstorm taking out Twitchy. And Helix Snake right now the only one fighting near the point ends up taking out Darkstorm. And going in to clear the rest of the point, Jaeger ends up getting Trickster, but getting my van and Anubios are following up on Chibiki and Jaeger. Helix Snake taking out Charvy as Chibiki, the only one still fighting on the point, ends up getting demeched, as well as taken out by House of Homie right there. Wolfpack, the only one nearby. Here comes the Pulse Bomb, but gets completely sucked up by getting my van's Transcendence right there. They are fighting on the point as much as possible. Coalescence coming in once again from Trickster. Here comes the tire as the overtime ticks away. Charvy able to get Chibiki back up. The Diva Bomb comes in, ends up taking out Helix Snake right there. They are fighting for their lives, folks. They are fighting for that next match as they go in, but it is not going to be enough against Twitchy and Trickster and Anubios as they continue to kill away the time. Darkstorm trying to take somebody out. Jaeger, Anubios. Oh, goodness. Oh, they fought so hard. They fought so hard. But once again, we see the Horn Beasts are Gebaited for a third match tonight. Play the game for Wolfpack with that beautiful triple tire and the cleanup fourth on this first point. Just absolutely gorgeous right here. I feel like if they would have been able to keep that going, that pressure that was coming in from Wolfpack, it would have been enough. But unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be. What do you think, Crunch? What do you think was the most significant part of this game?
Goats. Goats. But to be fair, the biggest thing though about Goats is just how quickly everybody is able to keep pushing through, how quickly you're able to keep those targets down, and how much you can keep that snowball moving with that kind of momentum. Because there's really not a whole lot of people that can stop that kind of momentum, and it was only whenever they had to dedicate both of their DPS to go Mei and Pharah to finally stop that push, where they were actually able to do what they needed to do. But for that first point, for that beautiful, beautiful, sweet little chokehold, I absolutely adore Goats on King's Road just because of how quickly you can get through it and just take the fight straight to point.
Absolutely. Well, it worked out for them. So despite the fact that Gebaited has taken the series for tonight, we are going to see if Horn Beasts can at least give us one amazing game tonight. I want to see them come away at least with one victory tonight. And we are going to Junkertown for our last and final map. Honestly, I was really hoping that of the Halloween maps, Junkertown would be one of them. Like, could you imagine, like, a Halloween Junkertown? Oh, it would be gorgeous. Just like,
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The one thing that I would have really loved to see for a Halloween map was definitely, I don't know why, I just think it absolutely looks really good, and I think it would look real spooky, as if they had zombie Omnics at Nepal, the Omnic missionary place. I think that would be real spooky. I think that would be really nice.
That would be interesting if just like during the game, like they won't like hit you or get in your way or anything, but you just kind of see like zombie Omnics like crossing your path like all around the map. That would be
right.
That would
and
be
then you could have like Mondada like running around as his ghost, and he's just saying like peace to you, but it's just him like just barely phasing through people. I think that would have been kind of spooky scary.
It's like there ain't no peace on this map. There's just a whole bunch of death.
Everybody's pulled in the hole.
All right, looking in the chat right now, we're seeing lots of love right here. Helix with the massive Reaper plays from Dank Monkey. And we're seeing Elfie go fight Wim. So proud of my fam. Stick it. Yep, just looking in, kind of seeing what's going on in the chat. House of Homie getting some nasty charges from Rob the Wizard. And as we go ahead and start this final match, it looks like we're going to see some similar compositions, Wolfpack and Helix Snake going at one another on the Widows, and Jaeger and Anubios going at each other on McCree. So this should be incredibly interesting, DPS versus DPS, as Helix Snake takes the first kill right there on Wolfpack. We're seeing the DMAC coming in for Chibi Kitty by Helix Snake as well. Anubios ends up taking out Chibi Key as well as Chibi Kitty. And it's now a 3v6 fight. Just doing an incredible job. Darkstorm, though, tackling Anubios, that is going to be a huge stagger as the rest of Horn Beast comes in to start pushing that payload right away. Helix Snake, again, getting that pick on Charvy, just having absolute free reign until Jaeger reins in Helix Snake with that beautiful six-shooter. Crunch, what do you kind of see going on in here?
I see definitely a lot of Ryan swinging, D.Va spraying, but not a whole lot of defensive abilities when they're low. I'm
that
definitely
might
seeing
be.
a lot of targets definitely trying to pull back as best they can, but they needed to be sure that they're using their defense abilities to be sure they can stay alive just a little bit longer. The amount of healing they have on that team is very, very low.
Well, Anubios was able to get the DMAC on Chibi Kitty, but it was not. It was. They had good defensive abilities against the High Noon, but enough to keep the rest of Gebaited from taking out the rest of the team right there. They are now at a huge ult advantage against the rest of Gebaited, though. Here comes the hammer down from Darkstorm, getting returned by House of Homie, and ends up taking out Darkstorm with the tackle. Here comes dual Diva Bombs, double kill for Chibi Kitty. Twitchy only getting Chibi Kitty, so it is a 2-for-1 trade right there, as they are still having an incredibly difficult time taking out everything going on the payload. The High Noon comes in from Jaeger, not getting much of anything by what I can say. Chibi Kitty getting in there, doing some work on Twitchy. Trickster ends up taking out Jaeger, and Chibi Kitty follows up on the Nubios, and they have finally got a little bit of forward momentum going as they work their way in. Darkstorm takes out House of Homie, and right now it is a 3v6 fight as the payload continues to push forward. 1 minute 20 seconds left on the clock. Do you think they have do you think that Gebaited has enough time to get in here and establish a firm footing before they hit point 1 there, Crunch?
Absolutely. By the time everybody's up and respawn, I'm pretty sure they're able to get a solid 6v6 before the fight comes on.
All right, well, it looks like Horn Beasts are trying to take advantage of the people that are coming in early. Anubios taking out Chibi Key, the hammer down, ends up getting 2, getting my van, taken out by Darkstorm, almost getting House of Homie right there. I'm not exactly for certain why Darkstorm's shielding against House of Homie's hammer. Like you should be swinging against that hammer, fam. Hammers go through shields, didn't you know? All right. Now it looks like the DMAC's going to come in on Chibi Kitty by Trickster and Twitchy. 30 seconds left on the clock, and barely to point 1. Here comes the Visor from Wolfpack, trying to let everybody know what's going on and where they are. Jaeger switching over to the Soldier to try to at least touch point, but the rest of Gebaited was ready for that as Getting My Van takes out Jaeger. Wolfpack taking out Anubios and Getting My Van, but Getting My Van trades a ball to the face for Wolfpack, making it a 2v2 fight right now on the payload. Chibi trying to get in there, but gets taken out by Helix Snake. Just a lot of work going on the payload as Darkstorm coming in with that nano assistance, trying to take out somebody. Twitchy and House of Homie takes out Chibi Kitty. Wolfpack gets taken out by Helix Snake. The res comes in for Chibi Kitty as they continue to fight on the point. Switching to that dive comp to try to get something going here. House of Homie ends up taking out Jaeger, and they are continuing to fight on the point. Darkstorm trying to get in the air to get a couple additional heals as the DMAC comes in for Chibi Kitty by Twitchy, and just a lot of work coming in. House of Homie coming in, ends up getting that shatter, not really getting anybody, but the team just cleans up as round 1 ends without a point to be confirmed. Oh, lordy, lordy, hallelujah. So, with a little over 83 meters, Crunch, what would you suggest that Horn Beasts do to create an incredible defense? And I feel like the word starts with a G, but I'm not certain. Does it not start with a G?
No.
Don't use goats on defense? What?
No. The biggest thing about Junkertown that makes goats absolutely useless on this map is just how open and fast the whole environment is. So it can be easily picked off by snipers, Pharahs, and they can create that much distance. While goats, it's more of you have everybody in that tight little area and you can take that little combat.
Gotcha.
My suggestion to Horn Beast would definitely is to play the Shield Buster comp. Have yourself a Junkrat, an Orisa, a Roadhog, an Ana, a Zenyatta, and why not have a Diva in there as well for just the extra little mobility as well as keeping up the defense matrix. But that would stop all the momentum that Gebaited is pushing out for the home team. And I would definitely say that alone would be that kind of coordination that the team could definitely use as well.
All right, well, it looks like they're going to continue to go with the Ryan Zarya combo. Now, the question is, will Wolfpack and Jaeger be able to take out Helix Snake without, Jaeger just having that mid-range distance right there? Will Helix Snake continue to go unopposed as they come in on that dive comp? That's going to be the huge question right now. Anubios, already being a menace, ends up getting taken out Jaeger with the help of Getting My Van. Chibiki, though, follows up on Anubios, making it a 5v5 fight right now as the payload moves already almost to half of the distance that they need to get to, 30 meters and counting, with 3 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. And it looks like they're going to pull off just a little bit to try to get the rest of the team back from spawn. Wolfpack getting bubbled and getting up there, trying to get some damage going. Darkstorm trying to get something going as Chibiki gets taken out by Anubios. Getting My Van follows up on Chibikitty as well. The res comes in for Chibiki. Jaeger ends up demeching Twitchy, Anubios, Helix Snake, and Trickster getting 3 kills on the side of Horned Beast. And they are once again uncontested as they push in to the final stretch right there. 20 meters left to go. I am sorry to say, but I think that this is going to be a 4-0. But Chibikitty trying to get in there, but the bubble could not stay long enough. Chibiki coming in on the Brigitte to try to keep things going, and it looks like it may possibly work. Darkstorm and Chibiki just swinging hammer and flail together, but ends up getting taken out by Getting My Van, that Storm, and Anubios is going to end up fisting Chibiki, and that is going to be the end of Game 4 tonight. Gebaited walks away with a 4-0 victory, but it was not easily won. I would not say that it was easily won. Definitely a lot of hard work coming in from the side of Horned Beast. Crunch, what would you recommend that Horned Beast do in preparation for their battle in a couple weeks?
My biggest thing I would love to see them do is have the kind of team communication, the ult communication, and foremost, just calling out what abilities are being used during those crucial fights. Even knowing that Zarya didn't have her personal bubble, or that Reinhardt shield looked like it was cracking and it was about to go down, I would definitely say just getting that kind of communication down to a T and everybody focusing those targets, that would be insanely positive for Horned Beast to go in that direction.
Absolutely. So everybody go ahead and put out your players of the match tonight. I see Dank Monkey voting for Trickster tonight. Definitely seeing GG for both teams coming in from Eldrick. DePeeps calling out the Helix. I have to say Helix was doing an amazing job, but why don't you go ahead and start us off there, Crunch, with your player of the match for tonight?
My two that I'm really boiling down to is House of Homie, and definitely got to give it to Helix. Helix, of course, just getting absolutely beautiful 5Ks and 4Ks on his Reaper Death Blossoms, and he was able to keep putting on that pressure on the Winston and Diva. But House of Homie did a very good job with having so many positive shatters and just blocking so many that Darkstorm was putting out against him. But I gotta say, at the end of the night, I would still say Helix would definitely take my vote for player of the match.
All right. We
got Casual in the chat saying Wolfpack, and Dang Monkey with hashtag House of the Match.
House of the Match.
Eldrick saying Death Trickster or House of Vomi or Ellic. What about you, Captain Jack?
Oh man, I have a feeling that I'm gonna have to give mine to Wolfpack. Despite how I know how incredibly well Helix Snake and House of Homie played tonight, I have to give some love to Wolfpack because there were a lot of switches that were going on for Wolfpack, trying to fill as best to counter the Gebaited comp that was going in. Despite if there could have been additional changes that were made, Wolfpack did their best to try to completely go against Gebaited, especially with that 4-man kill that we saw on King's Row to try to shore up that victory, as well as the incredible May that they pulled out on the defense to try to keep everything going right there. I think that might have been Jaeger. I'll have to go back and watch the stream afterwards. But nevertheless, both of them were doing an incredible job on DPS. But I think, like Crunch was saying, just a little bit more coordination, a little bit picking on certain key targets on the enemy team will definitely get Horned Beast in line for the next 2 weeks. Alex, go ahead with your player of the match.
I'm going to have to go with Wolfpack tonight, simply for a reason that I mentioned in the chat earlier. When he was on Pharah, he was very independent. He kept over and close to health packs. He knew when to withdraw or when to go in, when to be that annoying fly that we all know. And just, he was playing very well on Pharah. And then the Widow 1v1 that he actually won at first. Versus, I believe it was Helix on King's Row. I just think that overall, Wolfpack, you did a very good job, so you get my vote tonight. Well done. I think that's going to be all for us tonight. So 4-0 for Gebaited, but this is not the end. We are adding more stream nights very soon. Please stay tuned for the schedule, or actually scroll down. All the future games are right there. So we actually will be back this Saturday, 8:30, with our Diamond Division, Salt.exe versus Celestial Deathball. And next week, we have a very exciting game coming for you Thursday, as our brand new Gold team will be doing their first official Scrims. Very excited about that.
Woohoo! I am excited as well. We've got just about, if I understand this correctly, we've got about one new team in each division. So we have a new silver, new gold, new platinum, new diamond. So we're going to see a lot of different switch ups between the teams. You might recognize some people from certain teams that have switched over to help start the new teams. So they're going to be creating new atmospheres using strategies that they've used before. We've got 4 full nights a week at the end of October coming in. So as my buddy Loudtrex would say, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your grandma, tell your grandpa, tell everybody that you know, everybody that loves Overwatch, bring them in to watch Overwatch Cavalry Club Scrims every Thursday and Saturday, and soon to come, adding Mondays and Wednesdays to the roster. With that being said, I am Captain Jack.
And I am Crunch.
And I'm Alex, and we will see you on Thursday.
Saturday.
Saturday.